And now we're going to be hearing the harmonious sounds, as I promised you, of the Judith Kay Don Glanden duo. They're a strong duo, and they're also personalities in their own right. Now, Judith Kay is a gifted singer and a talented guitarist. A National Endowment for the Arts awarded her a Jazz Fellowship in 1979. The state of Delaware awarded her the Individual Artist Fellowship in 1980. Quite prestigious. She's been pleasing audiences in America and Europe since 1975, soloing and leading her own jazz group. Now, locally, she's a private teacher of guitar and music theory. Her pal is Don Glanden, a Brandywine High School graduate, class in 1969, a pianist of great skill and taste. And he's a student of Sir Roland Hanna and Bernard Peiffer. You may be familiar with those names. The National Endowment of the Arts awarded him a Jazz Fellowship in 1980. Now, audiences from Dallas to Fort Worth, New York City have been enjoying his music for quite some time. He's presently instructing jazz at the Wilmington Music School. Let's hear them now. I think you'll enjoy.
Cigarette holder, which wigs me over my shoulder. She digs me, a cat in that satin doll. Well, baby, shall we go out skipping? Careful, amigo, you're flippin'. Speaks Latin, that satin doll. Well, she's nobody's fool. She's playing it cool as can be. I'll give it a whirl, but I ain't for no girl catching me. So switch a Rooney telephone numbers. Well, you know I'm doing my rumbas with Uno and that in my satin doll. Every time I see you
As you know, you heard the sounds of the Judith Kay Don Glanden duo. Now we're going to meet them. Judith, Don, welcome to Focus Delaware.
Hi, glad to be here.
Now we're going to start with Judith first. Judith, you toured Europe recently as a solo singer-guitarist. What was that experience like?
Well, I'll tell you, Bob, it was exhilarating to find out that the audiences in Europe are the way I'd heard they would be. They were large, they were enthusiastic, and they love jazz.
American jazz.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They know a lot about it. I think even more than Americans do.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, now you're also involved with this Great American Popular Song program. Why don't you tell our viewers about that briefly?
Okay. Well, that's a program that Don and I have been doing for a couple of years. We do it at country clubs, churches, and for private associations who would like some entertainment after a banquet. And what we do is we play some of the music of the great composers from the 30s and 40s. I'm talking about George Gershwin, Irving Berlin, and Cole Porter. We give some background information about the composers, and we involve the audiences in guessing the names of the composers. It's fun, and it's a big hit.
Now, what number might the viewers call if they'd like to get more information from you?
They can call 302-475-8275 to get information about the Great American Popular Song.
475-8275.
Right.
Now, Don, you're teaching at the Wilmington Music School. Well, what's that experience about?
Well, I started teaching in the fall. I started teaching private students, and the improvisation class started in February. It's really part of an effort by Stephen Gunzenhauser and the school to widen their jazz program and go back to the days when the Wilmington Music School offered improvisation classes and private instruction and in jazz playing, and several musicians who came out of that program, like Ernie Watts, went on to big things. They've had jazz there. Bob Bosick has a big band, and John Souther does some teaching. But as far as improvisation class, this has been absent for several years. So they're renewing their effort in jazz education.
Now, briefly, where will you be performing in the near future?
Well, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at the Brandywine Sheraton, which will go all summer. Judy and I are at the DuPont Country Club on the weekends. And this Sunday, I have a concert at St. Francis in the Fields Church in Malvern, Pennsylvania, and that's with the jazz quartet that I have with Wendell Hobbs, the saxophone player from Philadelphia.
Well, I hope you viewers get a chance to go out and see Judith Kay and Don Glanden, and we want to thank you for being on our show.
Thank you.
Well, this is the end of another Focus Delaware show. We're going to be leaving you with a song by Don Glanden and Judith Kay. Before we do that, I want to tell you about next week's show. Tom Larson Blues Band will be featured on our show. Tom's making a return engagement. He's been on our show many times before, and he's reorganized his group, and I think you'll enjoy hearing him again. Comedians are always popular on Focus Delaware. Andy Scarpati from Comedy Cabaret is bringing on another one of his top-notch comedians from his stable of comedians, and we're going to be meeting Mr. Delaware, Bob Mason, a Dover Air Force Base fellow, and he'll be doing a little bit of a demonstration for us, and hopefully the comedians and I will get involved with him and he can show us how muscles ought to look. It sounds like it might provide for some very interesting interplay. You may have noticed I was wearing a tuxedo on the restaurant corner. I don't always wear a tuxedo, but that was the day that I was the master of ceremonies for the Mrs. Delaware pageant. We filmed both of those and decided we'd kill off two birds with one stone. For that reason, I was a little dressed in my formal attire. Right now, we're going to leave you, and we'll see you next week. Leave you with the Don Glanden and Judith Kay duo. Thanks for watching Focus Delaware. Good night and enjoy.
please.